let's start lesson 1 on a little mini series I want to do getting ready for Mother's Day. So probably a lot of florals and we'll see what else. Okay, now florals can seem super intimidating, but I like to keep things simple. So I pick a flower color. I'm going to start with some red. And this first project is going to be super simple and straightforward. I'm actually going to make up my purple as well. When I'm painting super simple flowers, I like to pick 2 or 3 colors that go well together. They're also called analogous, and then use those for my flowers. So if color is something you want to dive more into, I'll leave a link to my color theory masterclass in the description. But generally for this project, we're really just going to think about some analogous colors. So I've got some purple woken up, I've got some red woken up. I'll probably mix the 2 together. I'm running out of room on my paint palette. I'm just going to kind of clear a spot over here. I'm definitely one of those people that keeps their palette messy. Just personal preference, and you can do what you want. Right now I'm using an 8 round brush. I've also got a liner handy, so I'm gonna try to do everything with those. I like to keep things as simple as possible. Okay, let's start with some purple actually. And I'm gonna be doing a little super simple bouquet. So I'm gonna start with kind of these little blobs that are flower-esque, which just means they have little bumps out the sides that might look like petals, but aren't, you know, super detailed. Now, one thing I'm doing is, because these are really bubbling, I'm just gonna take from one of the flowers when I make my next flower. The other thing I'm thinking about is randomness. So look how these 2 are close together. These ones are kind of far apart. I'm gonna do one more maybe down here. I don't want to make them evenly spaced. Otherwise it feels too man-made. I want it to feel more organic, and even though I want it to be balanced, I want it to be randomly balanced. I'm also gonna do just a few little small dots, kind of like either buds or just pieces of flower that we can't quite see. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some red. And I'm not waiting for purple to dry, because for the most part, I'm gonna be doing some red flowers. I'm gonna do these more circular-ish. And I'm gonna try to keep them somewhat separate, but if they do touch, so here I'll touch on purpose, they can bleed together a little bit. And since I'm gonna be using a 3rd color that is actually made up of the 2, it's not a big deal if some of that bleeding happens here. This is part of the joy of doing a loose watercolor picture, is that that bleeding can be a good thing. I'm gonna do a few more little dots and dashes. I'm trying not to overthink this too much. I wanna keep it pretty quick and just create this collection of flowers. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mix these 2 together. Grab some red, grab some purple. It's gonna make kind of a nice maroon mauve color. And I'm just gonna create a few little marks, maybe even break up some of these flowers a little bit or combine. So really, again, it's not like we're painting actual flowers. It's more like we're painting the idea of flowers. Cool. One of the big things we're doing with this composition is we're leaving some white, because it's gonna get pretty messy. Okay, I'm gonna get some green ready. One of the things I do with my green paint is that I hardly ever use it as is. I like to dull that color down. And my favorite way to do that is to mix some brown. So I'm adding a little bit of brown for my paint palette here. And I'm just kind of mixing in some brown I already had, but I also don't want too much brown that it just looks gross. I do want it to feel green. So I'm looking for a muted green. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to my liner before I forget. Grab some of that green with my liner. Liners are just a really skinny but long bristled brush, so they can do really long lines without running out of paint. So this is great for like skinny long stems. So I'm gonna try to kind of bend these towards the center so I can have it kind of like a bouquet. But again, I'm keeping it pretty loose. And I like this sort of wispiness of it. I'm gonna grab some and I'm gonna put it inside this area as well. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to my 8 because I want some variety in my widths. I can still do pretty skinny lines with my 8. To make your lines skinnier, you just want less pressure on your paintbrush. And that will use a thinner part. It'll make you use the tip of the brush instead of the side of the brush. What's fun about doing these little stems while things are still wet is, again, you're gonna get some of that bleed, and that can be kind of fun. Happy accidents, one might say. But I am also still watching out for that white space. I want to keep that white space. Okay, I'm going to add a few more strokes kind of in here. And I think I'm going to do a few little leaves. So to do my little leaves, I'm just going to press a little harder in a few spots to make some kind of wider green lines. There's a little leaf. Press hard. There's a little leaf. So it's almost like I'm kind of stamping my brush a little bit to make some of these leaves. I'll do a few little leaves kind of out the bouquet here. But it might feel like I'm moving fast. I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to see how loose and quick motions can still make a very beautiful picture. You do not need to be super precise. You can kind of have fun with it and it'll be fabulous. Look how this is already looking like a really fun full bouquet of flowers. All right, now I do kind of want a little more definition to it. So at this point, I'm gonna dry it. I'm gonna use a heat gun. You could also use a hair dryer or just walk away for a second. And then we're gonna go back and add a few final touches. Now that I have gotten that dry, I'm gonna go back with the same colors of each shape. So I'm gonna go back with some red and I'm gonna add a second layer of red to some of these flowers. But this time I'm not gonna cover up all of the light. In fact, I'm kind of doing this swoop at the bottom, kind of dot in the middle to kind of do a very simple sort of rose tulipy shape. So this sort of simple swoop gives it a little bit of depth. See how it kind of breaks up those big blobs and it makes it feel a bit more real. I'm going to grab some purple and mix it with the red and go into some of these. I'm kind of thinking this thing down here kind of feels like a big flower. So look how I covered up some of it, but I left some light as well. I like to use really wiggly lines when I'm adding my dark values. Especially if I don't have a plan of what kind of flower it will be, I just use some scribbles, some little scribbly wiggles. This is simple, it's a little bit impressionistic. Now on these more flower type, like classic flowers, I might do a few little lines from the middle and then go a little bit on the outside edge. So those I have a bit of plan. So a wiggle on the outside, a line in the middle to kind of divide up those petals, and I'll have a bit more plan. But again, it's pretty much scribbles and wiggles. But look already how those dark layers are really making those flowers start to pop. It adds just one level of depth. Usually when I'm painting, I say that you should have at least 3 values in your picture. That's for a bit more realistic paintings. Because this one is so simplistic, it's more like an illustration than a painting. I know they're kind of the same thing, but that's how I differentiate. So I'm gonna get the same green and I'm gonna go ahead and add just a few swipes of a darker green. Look how, again, that just really pushes those, what are called, stems into the background. So I'll do a few I'll go on top of some. I might make some these little leaves. I might grab a little edge to the leaf. Because everything is dry, things are not going to bleed, so I can layer and make it darker. So the whole idea with watercolor is that the paint will go where the water is. So when you dry it, you can put the paint anywhere. It's not going to move beyond where you put it. But earlier when things were wet, the paint was going to kind of go anywhere it wanted. Okay, before I actually finish, one thing I love to do on pictures like this is some splatter. So I'm going to get a little extra water on my paint so it's really, really loose. I load up my big paintbrush and then I'm going to take my small paintbrush and hit my big paintbrush to get that little bit of splatter to come off. So I've got green on my paintbrush right now. And I like to kind of go all around the flowers. If it gets on my flowers, that's fine. But I like to kind of use the splatter to fill the background. I'm gonna go ahead and do some red as well. So pretty watery, full brush. There it goes. And do some splatter. Oh, I love some splatter. I've been using splatter on so many pictures lately. Got a little addicted. And then I'm gonna grab some purple. Nice and watery. And tap. The fun thing about splatter is it also forces us to let go a little bit, which is good for us. Okay, one last thing I want to do. I need a tissue, which I forgot to grab. You could also use a paper towel or even a sponge, and I'm going to kind of dab a little bit on those splatters, and it's going to lighten them just a little bit, and it might even smear them, which could be kind of nice. And it just softens a little bit of that splatter. So I could stop here. Technically, you know, it could be done. Here's the last thing I want to do. Pen. I love adding pen to my art. Microns are my favorite. You can really use any size. It's personal preference. I think in this case, I'm going to grab this PN, which is like a 3 or a 5. It's kind of in the middle. And first, I'm going to give it a little bit of a string gathering. So I'm going to do a few little lines here. Give them a little bow. Oh, this pen's kind of running out. And just give it a little doodle there. I'm gonna switch actually. My 2 should be working a little bit better. There we go. I could even do multiple lines. We'll keep it loose and messy. And then I'm gonna go in and just kind of doodle a little bit around some of my flowers. You know, I don't think these are dry yet. If your pen isn't working, make sure your paint is dry. I'm gonna do that quick. All right, let's try this again. So I'm just gonna go in and do some little doodles. And these little doodles are kind of adding like an edge or a contrast. So my little red guys, I'm gonna kind of put it where I did that dark paint along the bottom and the middle. But then I'm also going to trace some of these leaves to make them stand out a bit more. I love doing that part. And then I'll do a few black lines in and amongst my stems. The flowers that are kind of blobby, I can just do a circular blobby-ish thing around them to kind of copy that edge. It's just adding some contrast. I make it sound easy, like just wiggle and doodle, but it will take some practice to figure out where the looseness is loose enough and where it's too loose. So doing this more and more will get easier, but generally speaking, you're kind of tracing the idea of the flower, but you're lifting up your pen a lot. So you're not fully tracing, you're just, it's like sketching on top of your painting. So do it kind of loosely with little quick motions and don't get too attached to things. But I just love the way that black line gives an edge and a contrast to the bouquet. This would make a adorable Mother's Day card, Valentine's Day card, or just a cute little painting. So I hope you give it a try. Always, I love to see how they turn out, so feel free to tag me if you share it over on Instagram, Alyssa Whetstone Art. Otherwise, I hope you give it a try. Don't just watch this video. I want you to actually paint it. So I will see you next time. Look for more videos in this series, and let's paint some cute flowers.